like you would if you read a book that is divinely inspired. That's the main difference. You see that? So I can lay claim on God, you said this if I'm reading other books. But for these apocryphal books, what it says is that I cannot lay claim and say, God, you said this because they are not sure of the authors. That's been another issue. Now, another thing you will notice that many of the authors of the Bible, they were people that were publicly known. There was nobody that was secretly, there was no secret writer of the Bible. Eh? Some of the Bible books, which of them? Aside from Hebrews, which other one? Aside from Hebrews, like I said, the reason Hebrews got in there was because they researched it in line with the consistency of other books. For instance, Isaiah is the cousin to Uzziah, so it's publicly known. Jeremiah is not one riffraff, was close to Zedekiah. And it's as though every prophet in the Bible had relationship with the king. That's because nobody will accept you're a prophet when you claim your calling is just one corner. John was accepted a prophet because of his father Zechariah. Are you getting these things here? And everybody knew that the reason Zechariah was dumb was because of his son, John. Because at the birth of the son and the naming of the son, his tongue was loose. Everybody witnessed it. And everybody had the prophecies of Zechariah. Therefore, everybody knew right from time that this child was going to be a prophet. Do you get it? Matthew, Mark, Luke, all these people had close relationship with people who were prominent and their credibility could stand for what they had written. Moses, who does not know Moses? Joshua, come on now. Judges, come on. Do you get the point here? So everybody who were like authors of these books were people that were known. But for most of the apocryphal books, they could not really claim who the authors are. Because at the time they claimed to write these books, nobody was known to be a renowned prophet. Are we together here? Book of Thomas, Book of Bartholomew, all those books. What they believe is that somebody else wrote it, then put Thomas' name as the author. Do you get it? So it's just like maybe Amarachi writes a book, she now says written by Eleazar, Broderick. Which Christ Central member will see that I know how to read it? So that was what they believed up here. So this was why these books were trashed. Right. All together. So if you say you still want to read it, good, but it's just you trying to be excited. Do you understand? This has nothing to do with your faith. In fact, if there's any extra biblical book I want to recommend, it's not even these ones. For instance, I read the book of Enoch, and I have a very strong opinion on the book of Enoch. And I tell you, and I also read the book of Jasher. I read those two. I've not even finished Jasher. And I tell you, they can't put Jasher in the Bible because Jasher is bigger than the Bible. Right. Those books are. For instance, when the Bible says Enoch walked with God and he was no more, we don't really know how Enoch walked with God. But Jasher gave us an explanation of how Enoch walked with God. So Jasher started this by saying that Enoch would sit down now. Stand. Thank God you're not gifted to sleep while standing. So what's his name? Joshua said that Enoch proposed in his heart I was going to stay away with God for 1 day in 7 days. One day in 7 days. Then later increased it to 3 days in 7 days. Then later he reduced it, he increased it to he will stay the whole week, then give men 1 day. Then eventually he said he was going to go away the whole year and give men 1 day in 1 year. So it was in one of those moments, right, that it was caught up. Now, it wasn't caught up to heaven. The Bible says it was caught up to the farthest part of the earth. The Bible did not tell us where it was caught up to. Now, we assume it's heaven, but it tells us the farthest part of the earth. Now, Enoch became so powerful that even angels came to him for intercession. Eh? You see? How true is that? That's why I said it's extra biblical. That's why it's extra biblical. So, in other words, and one of the reasons why the book of Enoch was not given so much was because they could not really ascertain that it was Enoch. That's number one. Number two, all the fallen angels we call fallen angels. Enoch knew them by name. Right. Number three, Enoch prophesied of the flood of Noah, prophesied of the coming of Jesus. So those were, because that was why Jude even quoted him. Right. So Jude quoted Enoch because the Jews still have that bias towards him. But today we cannot really say this was what, or this is Enoch. So that was why that book was left out. Right. But with that, you to imagine, you just lock yourself 7 days a week. Now imagine a whole year. So that one day, everybody from all the earth, they gathered themselves to travel to go and see him. That one day. After that one day, he goes out. So this was what happened. When I say he began to intercede for angels, a time came that when he came out, people could no longer stand in his presence. He became fearful. You understand? He became, sir, I've loved myself for 21 days. I knew what I was like when I came out. 21 days. Even that 21 days, people were still coming to give me food to eat for 21 days. I think that was when I did a white fast. I was eating salt, pepper, oil, Maggi, sugar. It was just okra without. Oh Lord! White rice without nothing. Spaghetti without nothing. Just white like that. Yam without salt. And I was like that for 20. I went dry the first 6 days. Then I went on like that the remaining, how many days now? 14 days or 15 days. When I came out on the 21st day, unfortunately for a friend of mine, he had a meeting the next day. Unfortunately for him, he now invited me. Unfortunately for him, he now said I should come and speak for 5 minutes. In 2 minutes, power is good. In 2 minutes, even me, I was like, oh boy, this is good. In 2 minutes, it's 5 minutes, but that to me is looking like 2 hours because the things that happen in that 2 minutes, my God, that's just 21 days. Now imagine somebody who does that every year of his life. He logs off for 364 days, comes out one day in a year. So a time came as people are coming, they couldn't stand because his face was shining, like the face of angels and all that. So in other words, how many of us have heard the word Metatron? So in other words, Enoch became a Metatron. In other words, he was still a man, but he had the form of angels. For instance, when you read the book of Exodus, where it says, my angel will go before you. If you sin against him, he will not forgive you. That angel is called the Metatron. That angel is called the Metatron. So that was what? That was. This is already 12:30. What time did I say I would close? What time did I say I would close? 2 o'clock. Ha! Father, thank you. I said 2 o'clock. Thank you. I said 2 o'clock. Oh, thank you. I said 2 o'clock. I was supposed to say 10 till around 3. I was supposed to say 2 o'clock. I'll say around 3. I won't close by 3. But I'll close between 2 and 2:50. 59, 59. Yeah? No, I'm not closing around 1. Let me close around 2. But wait, do you want to walk or I should continue? Do you want to walk or I should continue? Eh? Yeah, walk. 5 minutes. 12:30, you come back. Yeah, walk around. 12:30, you come back. Do we still have sweets to share for everybody? Yeah, give them sweet. Let them lick sweet as they walk around.